9 Tamil Nadu police personnel have been given the death penalty by a Madurai court. This is over the custodial torture and resultant death of a father-son duo in the year 2020. The gruesome crime took place during the COVID-19 pandemic. Amid the lockdown, police personnel had taken shopkeepers Jayaraj and Bennix into custody for allegedly having violated lockdown norms. The father-son duo ran a store that sold mobile phones and accessories. While in police custody, the two men were brutally beaten and tortured. They sustained severe, gruesome injuries, and this led to their death within a few days. The Madurai court noted that the father and son were brutally beaten despite there being no valid case against them. One of the judges stated that the police personnel entrusted with upholding law and order had themselves acted against the law. 9 police personnel have been sentenced to death over the custodial torture. The court also ordered the cops to pay 1.4 crore rupees as compensation to the bereaved family. The judge stressed that the punishment must be severe enough to ensure such horrors never take place again. The case was initially probed by Tamil Nadu's CBCID, but India's Central Bureau of Investigation took over based on directions from the Madras High Court. The horrific details that emerged from the probe triggered massive outrage and drew attention to the extent of custodial violence the common people are subjected to. Well, this is a case that took place in 2020 where 2 men, a father and son, died while in police custody, and 9 police officers were arrested, and now they've been sentenced to death following a judgment that has been set in Tamil Nadu. This judgment will go as a lesson to other police officers who arrest and torture people while in custody, and while torturing them, they die. Well, the death penalty has been handed over to the 9 police officers who were involved in this case. They arrested a father and son duo in 2020. They tortured and beat them to death while in custody. And now the judge has set a death penalty to the 9 police officers. This will be a lesson to the police officers that when they make arrests and when they torture or beat people, they should face consequences. Let's talk to our correspondent Siddharth MP. He's on phone. Siddharth MP, what is the significance of this judgment, and what does it say about the treatment of people who are arrested and tortured while in jail?
Certainly, there has been a trend of worrying cases where there are custodial violence takes place, and then this custodial violence leads to death. In fact, the judge himself mentioned that he hopes that this kind of a verdict would be a deterrent for such kind of crimes taking place by those in authority. In fact, the judge specified that in this specific case, those who are meant to protect the people are the ones who took law into their own hands and ended up committing such a gruesome act on a father-son duo and virtually killed both of them in front of each other. Although they died later after these attacks, clearly it was the effect of these injuries and the torture meted out to them that led to their deaths. So clearly this is the intention behind such a judgment. In fact, the judge called it an extremely rare case, and he also specified that this was a gross case of human rights violation and that there was no mercy that could be meted out in this case, because the people who committed the crime are not ordinary people. They are people who are entrusted to protect civilians. Eric.
Siddharth MP is our correspondent in Chennai. Siddharth, thank you for that input.